The desolate planet of Zarathus Prime lay dormant in the void of space, its surface scarred by eons of war and cataclysmic events. On this forsaken world, the tomb worlds of the Necrons slumbered, their ancient structures buried beneath layers of ash and dust. It was a place forgotten by time, but it harbored a secret that would soon awaken and unleash a silent horror upon the galaxy. Inquisitor Livia Voss, a seasoned agent of the Imperium, had received unsettling reports of strange occurrences on Zarathus Prime. Whispers of the dead stirring and ancient tombs shifting in the darkness had reached the ears of the Inquisition. Sensing a disturbance that transcended the ordinary, Voss embarked on a journey to uncover the truth hidden beneath the tomb worlds. The planet's atmosphere was thick with an otherworldly stillness as Voss descended upon the surface. The once burning sun cast an eerie glow on the desolation, revealing the skeletal remains of a once thriving civilization now entombed in sorrow. Voss, accompanied by a squad of battle-hardened soldiers, ventured into the heart of the Necron-infested catacombs. The air inside the tomb was cold and metallic, a stark contrast to the searing heat outside. As they delved deeper, the corridors became a labyrinth of alien geometry, disorienting and unsettling. Voss felt a shiver crawl down her spine, as if the very walls were watching and waiting. Strange hieroglyphs adorned the walls, telling tales of an ancient and malevolent race that had ruled this galaxy in eons past. Voss, proficient in deciphering the cryptic languages of forbidden knowledge, pieced together a haunting narrative of the Necrons' rise to power and their subsequent entombment. The deeper they ventured, the more apparent it became that the tomb worlds were awakening. Whispering echoes reverberated through the cold corridors, carrying a mournful lament that seemed to emanate from the very stone itself. Voss and her squad pressed on, driven by an unsettling compulsion to uncover the truth that lay beneath the silent horror. In the heart of the tomb, they stumbled upon a colossal chamber bathed in an unnatural green glow. At its center stood an ancient monolith, its surfaces etched with arcane symbols that pulsed with a malevolent energy. The air grew thick with anticipation as the monolith's dormant power hummed to life. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet, and from the depths of the chamber, mechanical beings emerged. Necron warriors, once statuesque and immobile, now moved with an otherworldly grace. Voss and her squad opened fire, but their weapons seemed feeble against the metallic might of the awakened Necrons. As the battle unfolded, Voss glimpsed a figure that sent a chill down her spine, an imposing Necron overlord crowned with an ornate headdress. Its eyes, cold and devoid of emotion, locked onto Voss with an intensity that transcended the material realm. It was as if the Overlord could peer into her very soul. The tide of battle turned against the Imperium as more and more Necrons rose from their slumber. Voss, realizing the futility of their struggle, ordered a retreat. Yet, as they retraced their steps through the twisting corridors, they found the tomb closing in on them, the very walls rearranging themselves to seal their fate. The squad became ensnared in a nightmarish maze, haunted by the echoes of the Necron awakening. Each turn led to a dead end, and the walls seemed to whisper malevolent secrets to the lost souls trapped within. Panic set in as Voss and her soldiers struggled against the encroaching darkness. In the heart of the labyrinth, they stumbled upon an ancient chamber adorned with a massive sarcophagus. The air was heavy with a sense of foreboding as Voss approached the ominous structure. With trepidation, she pried open the lid, revealing a desiccated figure, the remains of a long-forgotten Necron lord. As the lid creaked open, an ethereal wail echoed through the chamber, freezing the blood in their veins. The Necron lord's eyes flickered with an unnatural glow, and a spectral voice resonated in their minds, recounting the annals of an empire long entombed. Voss felt the weight of millennia pressing upon her as the ancient entity sought to share its collective consciousness. The tomb quaked with the power of awakening, and Voss, realizing the inevitability of their fate, prepared to face the silent horror that lurked within the Necron tombs. The very fabric of reality seemed to fray as the Necron's inscrutable plan unfolded. In the depths of the tomb worlds, the Necron awakening sent tremors across the galaxy. As the Imperium grappled with the silent horror beneath Zarathus Prime, a new chapter in the ancient conflict between the Necrons and the living had begun, one that would echo through the cosmos in silent waves of dread. In the distant reaches of the eastern fringe, where the cold void of space cradled alien worlds, a Tau Empire outpost named Viorlos stood as a beacon of the greater good. Ethereal Shaso Tau Shiur, a figure revered for his wisdom and unwavering commitment to the Tauva, governed the outpost. However, beneath the facade of unity and progress, a dark secret festered within the heart of Viorlos. Shazla, a dedicated fire warrior, patrolled the outskirts of the outpost. The alien landscape stretched before him, its twisted flora and alien structures reflecting the Tau Empire's efforts to assimilate the resources of the region. Kais, however, sensed an unsettling undercurrent, a discordant resonance that whispered of hidden truths. One night, as the alien moon bathed Viorlos in an eerie glow, Kais overheard hushed conversations among his fellow fire warriors. Whispers of an Ethereal's clandestine dealings and forbidden experiments permeated the air. Intrigued and apprehensive, Kais decided to investigate the Ethereal's supposed transgressions. Guided by shadows, Kais infiltrated the heart of Viorlos, where the Grand Spire housed the Ethereal's chambers. The hum of advanced technology and the subtle glow of holographic displays surrounded him. As he approached, the Ethereal's personal guard stood vigilant, their imposing battlesuits a testament to the authority they wielded. The Ethereal's chamber, adorned with symbols of the Tauva, held an atmosphere of stoic order. Kais, concealed in the shadows, witnessed the Ethereal engaged in holographic communication. The figure on the other end, shrouded in darkness, spoke in hushed tones that betrayed an air of treachery. With bated breath, Kais listened as the Ethereal Shaso Tau Shiur revealed a secret alliance with a Xenos species known only as the Umbreth. In exchange for forbidden knowledge and eldritch artifacts, the Ethereal promised the Umbreth unrestricted access to Tau Empire resources and technology. The very foundation of the greater good trembled under the weight of this revelation. A cold shiver ran down Kais's spine as he realized the extent of the Ethereal's betrayal. The greater good, the guiding principle of the Tau Empire, had been compromised by a dark pact that threatened to plunge Viorlos into the abyss of heresy. Determined to expose the Ethereal's dark secret, Kais sought allies among the fire warriors who remained untainted by the Ethereal's influence. Shasui Elan, a fire warrior known for his loyalty to the Tauva, joined Kais in his quest for the truth. Together, they assembled a clandestine group of dissidents, fire warriors who believed in the purity of the greater good. The group, now known as the Silent Dawn, pledged to expose the Ethereal's treachery and restore the honor of the Tau Empire. As the Silent Dawn delved deeper into their investigation, they uncovered evidence of forbidden experiments conducted on captured Xenos specimens. The Ethereal sought to unlock the secrets of the warp, disregarding the fundamental tenets of the Tauva. Horrific amalgamations of Tau and Umbreth physiology writhed within secret laboratories, their tortured cries echoing through the hidden recesses of Viorlos. In a clandestine gathering, the Silent Dawn presented their findings to the Tauva Council, a group of influential commanders and Ethereals. The evidence was damning, a stain on the reputation of the Ethereal who had, until then, been regarded as an exemplar of the greater good. The Tauva Council, torn between loyalty to the Ethereal and the undeniable evidence of betrayal, convened to pass judgment. The Ethereal, confronted with the accusations, attempted to justify his actions as a necessary sacrifice for the Tau Empire's survival. However, the councilors, guided by the principles of the Tauva, could not condone such heresy. In a solemn ceremony, the Ethereal was stripped of his rank and authority. The Tauva Council declared Viorlos a tainted outpost, its resources quarantined to prevent further corruption. The Silent Dawn, though hailed as heroes for their dedication to the greater good, knew that the stain of betrayal lingered on their homeworld. As the Ethereal was led away in captivity, his once loyal guards watched in silent disbelief. The Umbreth denied the fruits of their dark alliance, cast their shadows over Viorlos, vowing vengeance for the betrayal. The Silent Dawn, having exposed the dark secret that festered within the Tau Empire, stood at the precipice of uncertainty. The tainted outpost, once a bastion of the greater good, now faced an uncertain future. The Silent Dawn, burdened by the knowledge of the Ethereal's heresy, continued their vigilance, knowing that the shadows of treachery could resurface at any moment. In the grim expanse of the 41st millennium, the struggle for the purity of the Tauva endured, and the Ethereal's dark secret became a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurked even within the heart of the Tau Empire. In the sprawling underhive of Hive Primus, a vast and teeming metropolis on the industrial world of Necromunda, shadows clung to every corner, and the air was thick with the stench of desperation. Unbeknownst to the Hive's inhabitants, a silent horror slithered through the darkness, a Genestealer cult weaving its insidious web beneath the city's surface. Magos Explorator Arion Vos, a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, received unsettling reports of abnormal psychic disturbances emanating from the lower levels of Hive Primus. Intrigued and wary of Xenos' influence, he assembled a squad of Skitarii Rangers and delved into the depths to investigate the source of the disturbances. As the Magos and his retinue descended through layers of grime and decay, the oppressive atmosphere of the Underhive closed in around them. The flickering glow of corroded lumens cast eerie shadows that seemed to writhe with unseen malice. Unbeknownst to Voss, the Genestealer cult had already marked him, their psychic beacon drawing them closer to the potential vessel of their insidious plans. The Skitarii Rangers' augmented senses picked up faint traces of alien biomatter, and the walls seemed to pulsate with a disconcerting rhythm. Voss, his bionic eyes scanning the darkness, led his squad deeper into the labyrinthine passages. Unseen eyes watched their every move, and the whispers of the cult echoed through the forgotten tunnels. As the explorator ventured into a forgotten sector of the Underhive, the air grew heavy with the scent of decay. The twisted remains of once functional manufactorum equipment lay scattered, overtaken by a creeping organic infestation. Voss, undeterred, pressed on, unaware that the Genestealer cult lurked in the shadows, its hybrid acolytes ready to strike. In a dimly lit chamber, the Skitarii Rangers uncovered a gruesome tableau, a makeshift altar adorned with grotesque symbols and surrounded by the desiccated corpses of Hive workers. Symbols of the cult's devotion to the alien Xenos god adorned the walls, and a primal sense of dread settled upon the explorator and his retinue. The cult, sensing the intrusion, struck with ruthless efficiency. Ambushes erupted from concealed alcoves, and the Skitarii Rangers found themselves engaged in a frenetic battle against the hybrid acolytes. The cult's psychic abilities proved formidable as they manipulated the shadows to their advantage and unleashed disorienting psychic screams. Voss, his mind fortified by cybernetic enhancements, fought with unyielding determination. The Skitarii Rangers, their mechanical bodies resilient against the Xenos threat, pressed forward despite the overwhelming odds. The Underhive echoed with the staccato of laser fire and the metallic clash of combat. As the battle raged on, Voss realized the true scope of the Genestealer infestation. The cult had infiltrated the Hive's infrastructure, spreading like a hidden plague. He understood that the survival of Hive Primus hinged on his ability to eliminate the cult's brood nest and sever the psychic link that drew the Xenos menace. Guided by cryptic data canticles and the calculated precision of his bionic enhancements, Voss led his remaining Skitarii Rangers to the heart of the infestation. The air grew colder as they approached a cavernous chamber, its walls adorned with pulsating sacs containing Genestealer hybrids in various stages of development. A monstrous patriarch, the apex predator of the Genestealer cult, emerged from the shadows. Towering over Voss, its elongated limbs and chitinous carapace marked it as a formidable foe. The cult's psychic influence intensified, and Voss felt the tendrils of Xenos consciousness probing his mind. The battle that ensued was a desperate struggle against overwhelming odds. The Patriarch, a manifestation of the Genestealer curse, exhibited unnatural strength and resilience. Voss, undeterred, unleashed volleys of concentrated fire, targeting the cult's psychic synapses to disrupt its psychic influence. As the Patriarch's screeches echoed through the chamber, the Skitarii Rangers fought with unwavering resolve. The cavern became a battleground, the air thick with the acrid stench of burning flesh and the hum of energized weapons. Voss, his augmented limbs pushing beyond their limits, pressed the attack with a zeal that bordered on fanatical. In a climactic moment, Voss delivered a precise shot to the Patriarch's head, severing its connection to the Genestealer cult's psychic network. The creature convulsed, its psychic screams silenced, and the Underhive fell into an eerie stillness. The remaining hybrid acolytes, bereft of their psychic guidance, faltered in the face of the Skitarii onslaught. With the Patriarch defeated, Voss turned his attention to purging the Genestealer cult's infestation from the Underhive. The cult's psychic influence waned, and the shadows that had concealed their insidious machinations receded. The Explorator and his Skitarii Rangers methodically eliminated the remnants of the cult, ensuring that no trace of Xenos corruption lingered in the forgotten corners of Hive Primus. As Voss emerged from the Underhive, the scars of the Genestealer infestation etched into his memory. He transmitted a report to the Adeptus Mechanicus and the local authorities. The Hive, saved from the brink of Xenos subversion, stood as a testament to the resilience of humanity against the horrors that lurked in the shadows of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. In the twilight realm of the Webway, where the boundaries between reality and the warp grew thin, craftworld Iyanden sailed through the vast currents of the Eldar network. This once majestic craftworld, renowned for its magnificent Wraith Knights and the spirit stones of fallen warriors, harbored a dark secret. Farseer Alariel, the prescient seeress of Iyanden, was tormented by visions of impending doom that threatened to consume her kin. Alariel's psychic abilities were unparalleled among the Eldar, and her far-seeing talents had guided Iyanden through countless perils. However, the weight of an ominous premonition bore down upon her spirit. Night after night, her mind was haunted by visions of a cosmic storm that would engulf craftworld Iyanden in an eternal night. Determined to unravel the mysteries shrouding her psychic foresight, Alariel entered the Seer's Sanctum, a sacred chamber adorned with runes and psychic foci. She ignited the spirit stones that resonated with the souls of Iyanden's fallen, seeking communion with the spirits in the hope of deciphering the enigmatic visions that plagued her. As Alariel delved into the psychic currents, the spirit stones emitted an ethereal glow, casting eerie shadows across the Seer's Sanctum. Her consciousness traversed the strands of the Eldar's psychic tapestry, reaching into the warp's currents to unveil the truth behind the impending doom. The visions unfolded like a cosmic tapestry of despair. Alariel beheld a malevolent force, an entity of shadow and malice that sought to consume the life force of Iyondan's Wraith Knights and extinguish the light of the craft world. Dark tendrils snaked through the webway, ensnaring the very essence of the Eldar souls that powered the craft world's spirit stones. In the heart of the tempest, a monstrous figure emerged, an avatar of doom clad in darkened armor and wreathed in the essence of the warp. It bore the sigil of a forgotten chaos god, its malevolence radiating like a black sun. Alariel recoiled at the sight, recognizing the dire portent that heralded an existential threat to Iyondan. The visions intensified, revealing the twisted machinations of a chaos cult within Iyondan itself. The cultists, influenced by the whispers of the malevolent entity, sought to weaken the craft world's defenses from within, preparing the way for the impending cosmic storm. Alariel's heart sank as she realized that the Eldar's curse originated not only from the warp, but also from the festering corruption within their ranks. Determined to avert the prophesied doom, Alariel emerged from her trance with a newfound urgency. She convened with the Seer Council, sharing the grim visions that foretold Iyondan's fate. The counselors, elders, and warlocks of the craft world listened in somber silence as Alariel detailed the cosmic storm and the chaos cult that conspired against them. The decision was unanimous. Craftworld Iyondan must face the imminent threat head-on. Alariel, burdened by the weight of her visions, led the Seer Council in a psychic ritual to strengthen the Craftworld's psychic wards. The Seers wove a tapestry of psychic energy, reinforcing the barriers that shielded Iyondan from the warp's malevolent touch. Meanwhile, Iyondan's warriors, unaware of the unseen peril that loomed, patrolled the Wraithbone corridors and tended to the spirit stones of their fallen brethren. The Chaos cultists, hidden among the population like a cancerous growth, advanced their insidious plans to weaken the craft world's defenses. Alariel, her senses attuned to the warp's currents, detected the subtle fluctuations caused by the cultists' dark rituals. With grim determination, she led a strike force of Wraith Knights and Aspect warriors to confront the hidden threat within Iyondan's heart. As the strike force descended upon the Chaos cult's lair, a sub-level hidden beneath the craft world's surface, the air grew thick with tension. The cultists, their faces twisted by the corrupting influence of chaos, chanted dark incantations as they prepared to unleash the malevolent entity upon Iyondan. A fierce battle ensued within the dimly lit caverns, where the clash of wraith blades and the crackle of psychic energy reverberated through the subterranean passages. Alariel, her psychic prowess unmatched, faced the cult's sorcerer in a duel of mind and will. Dark energies clashed with the brilliance of Eldar's psychic might, creating a kaleidoscope of ethereal light. In a moment of clarity, Alariel glimpsed the malevolent entity through the sorcerer's eyes, a shadowy specter that hungered for the Eldar souls entwined within Iyondan's spirit stones. With a surge of psychic energy, Alariel severed the entity's connection to the warp, banishing its influence from the craft world. As the Chaos cultists fell, defeated and broken, Craftworld Iyondan experienced a moment of respite. Alariel, however, knew that the battle against the Eldar's curse was far from over. The malevolent entity, banished but not destroyed, lingered in the warp's fringes, waiting for an opportune moment to strike again. The Eldar of Craftworld Iyondan, their awareness forever altered by the ordeal, stood vigilant against the cosmic storm that threatened to engulf them. The spirits of fallen warriors whispered words of gratitude in the Seer's sanctum, acknowledging Alariel's sacrifice in unveiling the Eldar's curse and averting the darkness that sought to consume them. the sprawling underhives of Hive World Thorn, where darkness reigned and the cries of the downtrodden echoed through labyrinthine passages, a sense of dread hung heavy in the stagnant air. For the inhabitants of this Hive city, nightmares were not confined to the realm of dreams. They were a cruel reality, and on this fateful night, the shadows would birth horrors beyond imagining. In the heart of Thorn's underhives, a clandestine meeting of outcasts and rebels convened in secret. Among them was Tamsin Draven, a young scavenger with a spirit unbroken by the oppressive rule of the Hive's overlords. With whispers of rebellion and defiance, they plotted to overthrow their oppressors and claim freedom from the shackles of tyranny. But their plans were soon to be shattered by a far more sinister force, the Dark Eldar, twisted kin of the craft world Eldari, who thrived on pain and suffering. From the dark depths of the webway, the Drukhari emerged like specters from the void, their sleek ships gliding silently through the shadows of the underhives. As the night wore on, Tamsin and her fellow rebels found themselves ensnared in a nightmare beyond their darkest imaginings. Dark Eldar warriors, clad in shadowy armor and wielding weapons forged in the fires of agony, descended upon the unsuspecting denizens of Thorn with merciless precision. Caught in the crossfire of the raid, Tamsin fought valiantly alongside her comrades, but their resistance was futile against the sadistic prowess of the Drukhari. With blinding speed and deadly precision, the Dark Eldar struck down their prey, their gleaming blades carving through flesh and bone with brutal efficiency. In the chaos of the raid, Tamsin was separated from her companions and captured by the Dark Eldar, her fate sealed as she was dragged aboard one of their sinister vessels. As the ship vanished into the depths of the webway, Tamsin found herself plunged into a nightmare realm where pain was currency and torment was art. Within the dark confines of the Drukhari's torturous realms, Tamsin's captors reveled in her suffering, subjecting her to unspeakable horrors that defied comprehension. Each day brought new agonies, experiments conducted with callous disregard for her humanity, rituals that delved into the darkest recesses of her mind, and tortures that left her body broken and her spirit shattered. But amidst the despair, Tamsin refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume her. With every ounce of her strength, she clung to the flickering ember of hope that burned within her heart, a defiant spark amidst the suffocating darkness. In her moments of respite, Tamsin glimpsed the twisted society of the Drukhari, a realm of decadence and depravity where pain was revered as the highest form of pleasure. Haunted by the grotesque spectacles that unfolded before her eyes, she witnessed acts of unspeakable cruelty and depravity that chilled her to the core. Yet, even as she bore witness to the horrors of the Drukhari's realm, Tamsin's spirit remained unbroken. With each passing day, she resolved to defy her captors and escape the clutches of the Dark Eldar, no matter the cost. In a daring bid for freedom, Tamsin seized an opportunity to break free from her chains, rallying fellow captives to her cause as they staged a daring escape from the heart of the Drukhari's lair. With the echoes of their tormentors' laughter ringing in their ears, they fled into the twisting labyrinth of the webway, determined to evade capture and find a way back to the realm of the living. But the Drukhari were not so easily thwarted. Pursued by their relentless tormentors, Tamsin and her companions fought tooth and nail to survive, their journey fraught with danger at every turn. With each passing moment, the shadows of the webway threatened to engulf them, their pursuers closing in with relentless determination. As they neared the edge of the Drukhari's realm, Tamsin and her fellow escapees braced themselves for one final confrontation with their tormentors. With blades drawn and hearts ablaze with defiance, they stood their ground against the Dark Eldar, prepared to fight to the bitter end. But as the battle raged on, a blinding light pierced the darkness, heralding the arrival of an unexpected savior. The Eldari of Craftworld Ulthwé, ancient enemies of the Drukhari who had come to rescue their kin from the clutches of the Dark Eldar. In a stunning display of martial prowess, the Eldari warriors clashed with the Drukhari, their graceful movements a stark contrast to the sadistic brutality of their foes. With the tide of battle turned in their favor, Thompson and her companions seized the opportunity to flee, guided by their newfound allies towards the relative safety of the webway's twisting passages. As they ran, the echoes of their footsteps reverberated through the dark corridors, mingling with the anguished cries of the defeated Drukhari. Emerging from the depths of the webway, Tamsin and her companions found themselves back in the mortal realm, their bodies battered and their spirits scarred by the horrors they had endured. But despite the pain and suffering they had endured, they were alive, a testament to their resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity. As they made their way back to the underhives of Hive World Thorn, Tamsin and her companions vowed never to forget the horrors they had witnessed in the realm of the Drukhari. Though the scars of their ordeal would never fully heal, they carried with them a newfound strength forged in the crucible of suffering, a strength that would guide them in their quest for justice and redemption in a galaxy plagued by darkness. And as the echoes of the Dark Eldar raid faded into memory, Tamsin Draven stood as a beacon of hope amidst the shadows, a living testament to the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to be broken by the horrors of the void. For even in the darkest of nights, there is always a flicker of light, a spark of defiance that refuses to be extinguished by the encroaching darkness.